Welcome. Let us begin by finding comfort. Allow yourself to settle into this moment, into this space. There is nowhere else you need to be. There is nothing else you need to be doing. You have given yourself this time, and that is a wonderful gift. Let's start by just listening. Don't try to block anything out. Just notice the sounds around you. Perhaps you hear the distant hum of the city, the whisper of air in the room, or simply the deep, profound quiet of the night. Hear these sounds without judgment. They are simply part of the world around you. They are the backdrop to your journey. And now bring your attention away from the world outside and turn it toward the world inside. Bring your focus to the most simple, most constant rhythm of your life, your breath. Don't try to change it, don't force it. Simply become aware of it. Notice the sensation of the air as it enters your body. Perhaps it feels cool as it enters your nose. Feel your chest or your belly gently rise, a simple, easy filling. And then notice the pause, the moment of stillness at the top. Follow the breath as it leaves your body. Feel the release, the letting go. The gentle fall of your chest. The air slightly warmer now as it returns to the whirl. Let's follow a few breaths together. A slow breath in, filling you with the stillness of the night, and a long breath out, releasing, softening. Breathe in the quiet, breathe out the tension. Each breath is an anchor holding you in this present moment. Each breath is a wave washing over you, cleansing you. The world outside there has its own busy rhythm, but in here, in this moment, your only rhythm is this gentle, slow tide. In and out, in and out. Your breath is the sound of your own personal stillness. It is the steady, quiet hum of your own existence. As the night sky settles into its deep, dark quiet, allow your breath to do the same. Allow it to become your connection to the great, silent peace of the universe. With every inhale, you draw in that peace. With every exhale, you become part of that peace. There is nothing else to do. Just be here. Just breathe. As you rest here, connected to your breath, you may notice that your mind is not as quiet. It may still be holding on to the day that has passed. Thoughts, worries, conversations, and lists may still be swirling. This is perfectly normal. We are not here to fight our thoughts. We are here to let them go. Imagine, if you will, that every worry, every plan, every memory from the day is a tiny particle of dust. Perhaps you see a thought about work. See it for what it is, not a problem to solve right now, but just a single floating particle. Perhaps you feel a lingering frustration or sadness. See it too as a small cloud of dust, grey and tired. All the what-ifs and should-haves, all the plans for tomorrow, they are just more dust. For so long, these particles have been swirling around, kicked up by the wind of your busy day. They have made the air in your mind feel thick, heavy, and difficult to see through. But now the day is done, the wind has stopped. With each slow, steady exhale, you're creating a gentle breeze that blows these dust clouds away. Imagine that. As you breathe out, you are gently, lovingly clearing the air. You don't have to push them. You don't have to fight them. You simply let them drift. Watch as that cloud of to-do lists just floats and begins to thin. Watch as that heavy feeling of a difficult conversation just starts to dissolve. They are moving away from you, carried on the gentle tide of your breath. They drift further and further out into the vast open space. They are not your problem anymore. They are just energy dissolving back into the universe. The space around you becomes clearer, the air becomes lighter. And as this dust of the day finally settles, as it fades completely into the distance, something new is revealed. Behind those clouds, your mind is not empty. It is a vast, clear, deep blue night sky. Look at this inner sky. It is limitless. It is peaceful. It is profoundly, deeply quiet. If a thought appears now, it is not a cloud. It is just a distant twinkling star, beautiful, quiet, and very, very far away. It doesn't block your view. It simply reminds you of how vast your own mind, your own peace truly is. You are floating in this beautiful, clear, inner darkness, and you are safe. Now let this feeling of safety grow. Become aware once more of your physical body. Feel the surface beneath you. Feel the bed, the blankets, the pillows. Feel how they support you, how they hold you. This is not just a bed, this is your observation deck. This is your safe harbour. It is the command chair from which you view the universe. You are held secure and perfectly comfortable. And the room around you. This is not just a room. This is your vessel, your own small, safe and powerful spaceship. Feel the security of this space. The walls are your shields, protecting you from the noise and hurry of the outside world. The darkness in the room is not empty. It is a soft, protective blanket wrapping your ship in safety. You are the pilot of this vessel, and you have set the controls for one destination: stillness. Your journey has already begun. You have left the busy, cluttered atmosphere of the day. You have passed through the clouds of your thoughts, and now you're here, drifting. Your small, safe ship is floating gently in the deep, quiet, infinite ocean of space. There is a gentle, low hum to your ship. It is the sound of your own breathing, the rhythm of your own heart, the sound of perfect peace. You're not moving fast. This is not a journey of speed. It is a journey of release. You're simply drifting further and further away from the sun of your active day and deeper into the cool, silent, healing night. There is no mission. There is no goal. The journey is the stillness. The destination is the peace. Feel your vessel support you completely. Feel the comfort of your observation deck. Allow every muscle in your body to release into this support. You don't have to hold on to anything. Your ship is holding you. The universe is holding you. You are safe. You're secure. And you're on a journey, gently floating, into the great peaceful Harnant void, drifting, relaxing, among the stars. We begin not with a bang, but with a breath. Look up from our blue world, and the first step on our journey is not to a strange and alien place, but to a familiar face, the moon. It is our constant companion, the anchor of our night sky. It does not rage or burn, it simply glows. Its light is a soft silver comfort, a gentle reflection of the star we have yet to visit. This light spills over our oceans and forests, a quiet promise that the darkness is never absolute. The moon is our first neighbour, the one who knows all our secrets. It has watched our planet for longer than we have been here, pulling on our tides with a steady invisible hand, creating a rhythm for the Earth. Its surface, marked with ancient craters and dark plains, tells a story of time, but it tells it in a whisper. To look at the moon is to feel a sense of peace, a connection to the vastness that starts right at our doorstep. We leave this silver comfort behind, but not with violence. Imagine our journey as a gentle drift, a slow exhale into the dark. We are not racing, we are floating, carried on a current of silence. We glide past the inner worlds. Mercury is a flicker, a small scorched messenger darting too close to the fire. Venus is a mystery, a beautiful bright jewel veiled in a thick, heavy cloak of clouds, a place of intense pressure and heat, a beauty best admired from afar. Then the quiet red world comes into view. Mars is not a planet of angry gods or invaders. It is a sleeping planet. It seems to be holding its breath, covered in a fine blanket of reddish dust. The colour is not a fiery red, but a soft, deep rust, the colour of ancient dried clay. Great volcanoes, their fires long extinguished, rise into the thin atmosphere, standing as silent monuments. A vast canyon system, far larger than any on Earth, cuts across its face, but it is a scar that has long since healed. There is no hurry here. Mars is a world in waiting, a peaceful, dusty silence that dreams of water it once knew. We drift further, crossing a vast empty expanse. This is the asteroid belt. It is not the chaotic, crowded field of rocks you see in movies. It is a vast, cold and mostly empty realm, where tiny worlds and bits of cosmic debris tumble slowly, each in its own ancient orbit, separated by millions of miles. They are the leftover ingredients of our solar systems, a quiet, scattered memory of its creation. And then we feel a pull, a presence. We approach the king, Jupiter. But this king is not a tyrant. He is a gentle giant, a guardian. The planet is immense, a swirling masterpiece of cream orange and brown. Its stripes are not solid lines, but continent-sized storms and winds moving in opposite directions, river of atmosphere flowing around the world. We see its most famous feature, the great red Suborobobot, and it is not an angry, raging eye. It is a deep crimson vortex, a storm that has spun for centuries like an ancient slow-motion whirlpool. It is mesmerizing, a testament to stability and power. This giant is not alone. Dancing around it, we see its own family, its 4 largest moons, discovered by Galileo. They are worlds in their own right, one a fiery volcano world, another a sphere of ice hiding a secret ocean, and 2 others ancient and cratered. Jupiter holds them all, and it holds us in awe. Its immense gravity acts as a shield for the inner planets, catching and deflecting dangerous G-force, a quiet protector we never knew we had. We continue our peaceful voyage outward. The light is thinner, now the sun we left behind growing smaller, but the beauty only deepens. We see a light ahead, a pale yellow dot surrounded by a perfect, impossible halo. Saturn. There is nothing else like it. The planet itself is calm, a soft butterscotch colour, less chaotic than its larger brother. But its rings, the rings of the true spectacle, they are not solid. They are an ethereal, shimmering disk made of billions of individual pieces of ice and dust, each one a tiny moonlet, catching the faint sunlight and reflecting it back to us. They spin slowly, a majestic, silent wheel. It is a hypnotic, mesmerizing sight. It feels less like a planet and more like a work of art, a delicate construction that should not exist but does in perfect cold sequence. It is the definition of serene. We pass the lonely blue-green twins Uranus and Neptune, the ice giants. They are distant, cold and mysterious, the sentinels at the far edge of the neighbourhood worlds of deep, strange ice and wind. From here out in the deep quiet, we turn and look back. The sun is no longer the blinding, fiery orb of our daytime sky. From this distance, it is simply the brightest star, a brilliant, unwavering point of light. But now we feel what we could not see before. We feel its true power. We feel its embrace. The sun from out here is not a burning tyrant. It is a hearth. It is the centre of the family. Its warmth, which we felt on Earth, is the energy that drives everything. But more than its light, we feel its gravity. This is the Vong-Te, the arms the prompt spoke of. It is an invisible, constant and gentle force that holds everything we just saw. It holds the sleeping Mars, the giant Jupiter, the beautiful Saturn. It holds our own blue Earth and its silver moon. We are all held together by this central warm presence. This gravity is not a cage, it is a safety tether, a cosmic blanket that keeps our entire family from drifting apart into the cold, empty darkness. Even when we cannot see it, even when we are sleeping on the night side of our planet, that steady, warm, gravitational heart is there holding us safe. This is our solar system, not a void of dangers, but a quiet, stable and deeply beautiful home, all centered around a warm celestial fireplace. We drift. We have passed the familiar, the giant planets and their moons, and now we move into the great unknown. We are crossing the border, the edge of our home. This is the Kuiper Belt. It is not a solid wall, but a vast, scattered field of ancient ice and rock, trillions of objects left over from the birth of our solar system. These are the building blocks that never found a home, frozen in time. The sun. Our anchor is no longer the warm, life-giving disk we remember. From here it has shrunk. It is now just the brightest, most brilliant star in a sky of perfect velvet black. Its light is still powerful, a piercing diamond, but its warmth is gone, a distant memory. We drift past these silent frozen worlds, each one a mystery locked in ice, floating in a darkness so complete that the other stars seem close enough to touch. This is the suburb of our solar system, and we are leaving it behind. Further out, we go travelling for years into a region so vast it barely seems real. We enter the Oort cloud. This is not a belt. It is a sphere. A giant hollow shell of trillions of icy comets surrounding our entire solar system in every direction. It is the final gossamer-thin bubble of the sun's influence. We are so far away now that the sun's gravity is just a faint, weak whisper. It is a pull so light that a single passing star in the distant dark could shake one of these comets loose and send it on a 10,000-year journey toward the inner planets. We are at the absolute edge. The objects here are separated by millions of kilometers of nothing. We are further from our home than our minds can truly comprehend. And then we pass the last one. The final faint gravitational string connecting us to our home star breaks. We are free. We are no longer in the solar system. We are between the stars. The first thing we notice is the silence. It's a silence so complete, so profound, it feels like a physical presence, like sinking into deep, cool water. On Earth, silence is never real. It is just the absence of noise. We can always hear the wind, the hum of electricity, the beat of our own heart. Here there is nothing. There is no air to carry a sound. There is no up or down. There is only the deep, unending black punctured by the steady, unblinking light of distant suns. This is not the terrifying emptiness you see in movies. That kind of fear comes from being alone in a place that was meant for people like an empty house. This place was never meant for us. It was not designed. It simply is. The emptiness is not a threat. It is a fact, and in its vastness it is peaceful. It is a deep cosmic calm. Our minds on Earth are always busy. They are constantly reacting to the weather, to the news, to the sound of traffic, to the expression on someone's face. Our brains are built to process a constant stream of information. Out here there is no information. There is no weather. There is no day or night. There is no blue sky or cloudy day. There is only the journey and the quiet. In this vast stillness, the mind finally stops racing. It stops shouting. It stops worrying about the next moment and settles into the now. It's a meditation that we did not ask for, but one the universe has given us. We are a tiny single speck of awareness floating in an ocean of peace. The stars do not hurry. The galaxies do not rush. And out here, suspended between suns, we learn to be still too. The emptiness is not a void, it is a rest. It is the deep breath the universe takes between one star and the next. We are here in this calm expanse, but how do we measure it? How do we map this new ocean if we use our old rulers like kilometers or miles? The numbers become so large they stop making sense. They become a joke. The distance from our sun to the next star is a number with so many zeros that it looks like a typing error. Measuring this space in kilometers is like trying to measure the Pacific Ocean with a single teaspoon. We need a new ruler. The universe has given us one. It is not a ruler of space, but a ruler of time, and it uses the fastest thing that exists, light. We call this new measure a light year. The word itself is simple, but what it represents is staggering. This is not a concept for mathematics. It is a concept for the heart. It is a measurement of patience. Think about light. It is impossibly fast. In a single second, a beam of light can circle the entire planet Earth more than 7 times. It is the definition of instant. When you flip a switch, the light is not fast. It is simply on. And yet the distances out here in this quiet place are so vast that even light, the fastest thing in the universe, gets tired. A light year is the distance that single racing beam of light travels in one full, uninterrupted Earth year. Imagine that journey. The light leaves its star and travels through this exact same silent void we're floating in. It keeps going. It travels for 3 days. No stopping, no slowing down, just a constant, relentless sprint through the dark. The distance it covers in that 1 year, that is 1 light year. When we say the nearest star system, Alpha Centauri is about 4.2 light years away, what are we truly saying? We are not just stating a fact, we are telling a story of endurance. We are saying that the light from that star, the light that reaches our eyes when we look up at night, started its journey more than 4 years ago. We are quite literally looking into the past. We are seeing a star as it was 4 years ago. It means that if we started travelling there on our fastest rocket ship, it would take us over 70,000 years. A light year is the universe's way of teaching us humility. It is a measure of a journey taken in absolute unbroken silence. It is the gap between one here and another there. And that gap is filled only with time. The great stillness we are floating in is not empty. It is full of time. We have left our small, comfortable shore, and we are now sailing on an ocean where the nearest islands are years away, even at the speed of light, a river of light in the darkness. If we could leave our bodies behind and fly incredibly far away, far beyond the moon, beyond Pluto, and even beyond the nearest stars, we would eventually reach a point where we could look back at our home. From this great distance, we would not see the Earth or the sun. Instead, we would see something magnificent and glowing against the pitch-black background of the universe. We would see our big house, the galaxy we call the Milky Way. From the outside, our galaxy looks like a giant glowing pinwheel. It is flat like a pancake or a frisbee with long, curving arms wrapping around a bright center. It is a spiral galaxy. To the ancient people who looked up at the night sky thousands of years ago, the edge of this disk looked like a spilled stream of milk flowing across the heavens, which is how it got its name. But from our vantage point in deep space, we see it for what it really is, a majestic island of stars. It is not just a static picture, it is moving. The entire galaxy is slowly spinning like a great cosmic whirlpool. It is a river of light made of hundreds of billions of stars all dancing together in gravity's embrace. It is so wide that if you were travelling at the speed of light, the fastest speed in the universe, it would still take you 100,000 years to cross from one side to the other. Our address, the cosmic suburbs. When you look at this giant city of stars, you might wonder, where are we? Where is the sun? You might expect us to be in the bright, busy centre where all the action is, but we are not there. If the Milky Way were a bustling city like New York or Tokyo, the centre would be the loud, crowded downtown area. It is packed with stars, radiation and chaos. It is a dangerous place for life to exist. Instead, we live in the quiet suburbs. We are located about halfway out from the centre, nestled comfortably in one of the spiral arms known as the Orion Arm. This is a very lucky location. We are in a sweet spot not too close to the dangerous radiation of the centre, but not so far out at the edge where there are not enough materials to build planets. It is peaceful out here. In our neighbourhood, the stars are far apart. The night sky we see from Earth is just a tiny glimpse of our local neighbours. We are living in a safe, stable corner of the galaxy drifting slowly through space. It takes our sun about 230 million years to make just one full circle around the galaxy. The The last time we were in this exact spot in the galactic orbit, dinosaurs were just beginning to walk on the Earth. This slow, gentle rhythm is what has allowed life on our planet to survive and grow for so long. The dark heart Sagittarius A star. If we were to leave our quiet suburb and travel inward past the millions of other stars, the sky would get brighter and brighter. The stars would become so crowded that the night would disappear. Finally, we would reach the very center of the spiral. Here lies the great mystery of our galaxy. For a long time, astronomers knew something heavy and invisible was hiding there. They could see stars whipping around a central point at incredible speeds like race cars on a track. But the center looked empty. We now know that resting in the exact center of the Milky Way is a supermassive black hole. Scientists call it Sagittarius A star. When we hear the words black hole, we often think of a scary monster, a cosmic vacuum cleaner that eats everything nearby. Movies depict them as engines of destruction, but the reality of our galactic center is different. It is not a monster, it is more like a ruler or a majestic anchor. Sagittarius A star is incredibly heavy. It has the mass of 4 million suns crushed into a very small space. Because it is so heavy, its gravity is intense, but it is not wandering around eating the galaxy. It sits still in the center. Its immense gravity acts like a dark heart for the Milky Way. Just as the Sun holds the planets in orbit and the Earth holds the Moon, this supermassive black hole helps anchor the structure of the center of the galaxy. It is a calm giant. Occasionally a cloud of gas might wander too close and the black hole will consume it, letting out a flare of energy. But mostly it sleeps. It is the gravitational pivot point around which the rest of the galaxy turns. It is the dark, silent engine that keeps our city of stars together. The Great Garden. Life and death of stars. As we look around the rest of the galaxy, we realize it is not just a collection of dead rocks and burning gas. It is an ecosystem. It has a life cycle just like a forest on Earth. Scattered throughout the spiral arms are beautiful glowing clouds called nebulae. These are vast clouds of dust and gas, often glowing in pinks, blues and greens. These are the nurseries of the galaxy. Inside these clouds, gravity pulls clumps of dust together. As they get squeezed tighter and tighter, they get hotter and hotter until flash a new star is born. These young stars light up the surrounding gas like a lamp inside a tent. But stars do not live forever. They live for millions or billions of years, but eventually they run out of fuel. This is where the cycle becomes beautiful. When a massive star dies, it does not just vanish. It explodes in a brilliant event called a supernova. When a smaller star like our Sun gets old, it gently puffs its outer layers into space like a dandelion, shedding its seeds in the wind. Whether by a calm breath or a violent explosion, the dying star releases everything it created during its life. It shoots out carbon, oxygen, iron, and gold into the emptiness of space. This material floats through the galaxy and eventually mixes with other clouds of gas. Over time, this enriched dust collapses again to form new stars and new planets. This is the most profound truth about our home galaxy. It is a recycling machine. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the oxygen in the air you breathe. All of it was cooked inside the fiery hearts of stars that died long before the Earth was born. The Milky Way is not just a place where we live, it is the garden where the ingredients for life were grown. The old stars died quietly so that we could be here today. We are quite literally the children of the Milky Way made of stardust, living in a quiet arm of a spiral galaxy, circling a humble star looking back out at the river of light that gave us our beginning. We have journeyed through our solar system and across the vast spiral arms of our home, the Milky Way. We have seen it as an immense city of stars, dust and gas, but our city is not alone in the endless night. As we pull our perspective back further and further, we begin to see other lights in the distance. We realize that our galaxy is not the entire universe, but rather a single island of light in an enormous cosmic ocean. This cluster of islands, the archipelago our Milky Way belongs to, is called the Local Group. The Local Group is our cosmic neighborhood. It's a collection of more than 50 galaxies, all held together in a gravitational embrace. While most of the universe is expanding with galaxies rushing away from each other, the members of our Local Group are bound to one another. They orbit a common center of gravity like a scattered family that stays close. This family is dominated by two massive members, two giants who define the neighborhood. One, of course, is our Milky Way. The other is our famous twin sister, the Andromeda Galaxy. Andromeda is the largest and most massive galaxy in our group. It is a stunning spiral much like our own, but significantly larger. While the Milky Way has perhaps 400 billion stars, Andromeda may have 1 trillion. It lies about 2.5 million light years away from us. This distance is staggering. A light year is the distance light travels in 1 year, and light is the fastest thing in existence. This means the light we see from Andromeda today, the light that might strike your eye if you look up at the night sky, actually left that galaxy 2.5 million years ago. We are quite literally looking at the past. On a very clear dark night, far from city lights, you can just barely see Andromeda with your unaided eye. It appears as a faint, fuzzy, oval-shaped smudge of light, the most distant object a human can see without a telescope. Seeing it is a humbling experience. You're gazing across millions of years and trillions of kilometers of empty space at another island of stars. This twin sister of ours is on a very special path. It is not moving away from us. Instead, gravity is pulling our two great galaxies together. Andromeda is rushing towards the Milky Way at a speed of over 100 kilometers per second. This has led to a dramatic prediction. Our two galaxies are destined for a future collision. But when we use the word collision, we must be very careful. This will not be a violent explosive event like two cars crashing. The distances between individual stars in a galaxy are so incomprehensibly vast that it is almost perfectly empty space. If a galaxy were a city, the stars would be like two single grains of sand separated by several kilometers. When the Milky Way and Andromeda meet in about 4.5 billion years, it will be less of a crash and more of a majestic slow-motion dance. It will be, as the prompt suggests, like two mighty rivers of stars flowing into and through one another. The two galaxies will not shatter, they will merge. This grand cosmic dance will take billions of years to complete. As they first approach, their mutual gravity will stretch and warp them. Long streamers of stars and gas called tidal tails will be pulled out of each galaxy, flung into space like the streamers from a spinning dancer. The two galaxies will pass through each other, but the stars themselves will almost certainly not hit anything. They will just fly past each other. After this first pass, gravity will pull them back together again. They will loop around each other, merging and mixing over hundreds of millions of years. This process will trigger a spectacular burst of star formation, as the vast clouds of gas within both galaxies are compressed, lighting up the new combined galaxy with the fires of billions of newborn stars. Eventually, after a long and complex dance, they will settle down. The two beautiful spirals will be gone, their elegant structures completely scrambled. In their place will be a new single enormous galaxy, a giant elliptical galaxy which is more of a massive disorganized ball of stars. Astronomers have playfully nicknamed this future galaxy Milkomeda, or Milkdromeda. What would this look like from Earth? Assuming our planet survives the Sun's own evolution, the view would be breathtaking. For millennia, Andromeda would grow larger and larger in the night sky. As it passed through us, our sky would be filled with the spectacular new river of stars, a billion foreign suns mixing with our own. Our own sun would likely be tossed into a new different orbit, perhaps much further from the new galactic center, but it would almost certainly be unharmed. The local group, however, is not just these two titans. If the Milky Way and Andromeda are the two large continents of this archipelago, the rest of the group is made of tiny islands and reefs. These are the dwarf galaxies. These are tiny, faint collections of just a few billion, or even only a few million stars. They are the phosphorescent spots in the night ocean orbiting the larger galaxies like moths around a flame. The Milky Way has dozens of these small satellite galaxies, and Andromeda has its own swarm as well. The most famous of these satellites are the Large and Small Magellanic Clouds. Visible only from the southern hemisphere, they look like two faint misty clouds detached from the Milky Way. They are not grand spirals, but messy, irregular galaxies rich with gas and young hot blue stars. They are cosmic neighbours who are currently in a close and chaotic dance with our own Milky Way, and their gravitational tugging creates streams of gas that link us together. Many of these dwarf galaxies are ancient, containing some of the oldest stars in the universe. They are like living fossils, giving us clues about how the very first galaxies formed. But the lives of these small galaxies are often tragic. The Milky Way and Andromeda are galactic cannibals. Their immense gravity tugs on these smaller neighbours, pulling them apart. We can see evidence that our Milky Way is currently in the process of eating several dwarf galaxies like the Sagittarius dwarf, whose stars are being ripped away and stretched into a long stream that wraps around our entire galaxy. This is how large galaxies grow. They consume their smaller neighbours over billions of years. Our local group, this collection of giants, dwarfs, merging rivers and cosmic fossils, is our home on the grandest scale. And yet this group too is just one small cluster in an even larger structure. Our entire local group is on the move, pulled by gravity toward a massive collection of thousands of galaxies, the Virgo supercluster. The islands of light stretch on from neighborhoods to cities to entire nations of galaxies filling the cosmos. But our journey of scale is not over. For a long time we believed our Virgo cluster was the largest structure we belonged to. We saw it as a massive city of galaxies. We were wrong. The Virgo cluster is merely a small suburb of a metropolis so vast it challenges the imagination. We live inside a structure called Laniakea. The name comes from the Hawaiian language meaning immeasurable heaven, and it is a fitting description. Laniakea is not just a cluster, it is a supercluster. It is a colossal collection of other clusters, including our own Virgo cluster, all bound together by a shared gravitational destiny. Think of it this way: if the Milky Way is our house, and the local group is our neighborhood, then the Virgo cluster is our town. Laniakea is the entire continent. This structure contains roughly 100,000 galaxies stretching across more than 500 million light-years of speculative. But what truly defines Laniakea is not just its size, but its motion. A supercluster is defined by gravity. It is a watershed of the cosmos. Every galaxy within this enormous region is on average moving toward a single common point. We are all part of a single immense cosmic river. This flow is directed toward a gravitational anomaly known as the Great Attractor. We cannot see this point clearly. It is hidden from our view by the dense gas and dust in the center of our own Milky Way galaxy. But we know it is there. We can measure its pull. We feel its influence like a current pulling our entire local group, the Virgo cluster, and thousands of other galaxies along with it. To realize we are part of Laniakea gives us a new and profound sense of place. We are not just a random speck of dust in an endless void. We are residents of a defined, coherent structure. We share a home with 100,000 other galaxies all drifting together through the immense ocean of space. This is our true cosmic address. Yet even Laniakea is just one part of an even grander pattern. If we zoom out again so far that even superclusters like Laniakea look like small bright jewels, we discover the true architecture of the universe. It is not a random assortment of matter. It is a staggering, beautiful and organized structure known as the cosmic web. Imagine the universe as a gigantic three-dimensional neural network, the brain of a kid, or perhaps think of it as a vast dark sponge. The structure is formed by endless interconnected strands or filaments of matter, stretching for billions of light years. These filaments twist and weave through space, and where they intersect they form dense, bright knots. This web is the universe's scaffolding, and it was built by the two great competing forces, gravity and dark matter. In the very beginning, dark matter, the invisible substance that makes up most of the matter in the cosmos, began to clump together. Its immense gravity pulled in regular matter, the gas and dust that we can see. This matter flowed along these invisible pathways like water following the contours of a landscape. The galaxies, like our Milky Way, are the bright, shining points of light that formed along these strands. They are the dewdrops clinging to the spider's web. The superclusters, like Laniakea, are found within these filaments. The knots, the places where multiple filaments cross, are the great cities of the universe. These are the locations of the most massive, ancient and crowded galaxy clusters, home to thousands of galaxies packed tightly together. Our planet, our star and our galaxy are not in one of these big cities. We are in one of the quieter filamentary suburbs, but we are still connected. This cosmic web is the superstructure that connects everything. Every galaxy is in some way linked to every other part of a single unbroken tapestry that fills all of space. But this analogy of a web or a sponge raises an obvious question. What about the empty parts? If the galaxies are in the filaments and knots, what lies in the gigantic spaces between them? These regions are known as the Great Voids. They are the holes in the cosmic sponge, and they are perhaps the most unsettling and mysterious places in the entire universe. When we say void, we do not mean a small pocket of emptiness. These voids are colossal. They are the true deserts of the cosmos, spanning hundreds of millions of light years across. They are so large that the filaments of the cosmic web look thin and fragile in comparison. While the filaments are where gravity has won, pulling matter in the voids are where gravity has lost. Over billions of years, the matter that was once inside these regions was pulled out by the gravity of the surrounding filaments, leaving these areas profoundly empty. When we look into a void, we see almost nothing. They are not perfectly empty. A few lost, lonely galaxies may drift through the darkness, but they are incredibly rare. This is the place of ultimate stillness, of profound isolation. If we were to live in a galaxy inside one of these voids, we would look up at the night sky and see almost nothing but blackness. We might never even learn that other galaxies or a cosmic web existed at all. These voids are more than just empty space, they are the heartland of dark energy. While gravity works to pull the filaments together, the mysterious force of dark energy works to push everything apart. In the dense filaments, gravity is strong enough to resist this push, but in the vast emptiness of the voids there is almost no matter and no gravity to fight back. Here dark energy is the undisputed king. This is the place where the universe is breathing. The voids are actively growing larger. They are pushing the filaments and superclusters further and further apart, accelerating the expansion of the cosmos. The universe then is a place of incredible contrast. It is a place of intense, crowded, chaotic activity in the knots, and a place of cold, expanding, and almost total silence in the voids. Our universe is simultaneously collapsing on itself in the filaments, while expanding and tearing itself apart in the voids. This is the largest picture we can paint of our reality. A universe of structure and emptiness, of light and darkness, of connection and isolation. We live on a tiny planet orbiting a simple star in a common galaxy. This galaxy is part of a small group which is just one small suburb in the immense Laniakea supercluster. And this supercluster is just one strand in a single infinite and majestic cosmic web which is itself defined by the great silent voids that lie between. When we look up at the night sky, we see an astonishing display of light. We see stars, bright planets, glowing gas clouds called nebulae, and the faint milky arms of distant galaxies. Even our most powerful telescopes just show us more of this stuff matter that shines, reflects, or blocks light. For all of human history, we assumed that this was the universe. We believed that reality was made of the same basic ingredients as atoms and light and energy. We thought that if we just built better tools, we could eventually see it all. It turns out this is profoundly wrong. All of it, every star, every galaxy, every planet, and every living being is just a tiny fraction of what truly exists. All the normal matter we can see and interact with makes up less than 5% of the total universe. The other 95% is a complete mystery. It is a vast invisible ocean in which the stuff we know is just the thinnest layer of foam on the surface. We have given names to these mysterious components, but naming them does not mean we understand them. We call them dark matter and dark energy. They are dark, not because they are evil or frightening, but simply because they are hidden from us. They do not interact with light, so we cannot see them, but we know they are there because we can see what they do. First, let's talk about the universe's invisible framework, dark matter. This mysterious substance makes up about 27% of the universe. It is not just empty space, it is a real something, but it is completely invisible and intangible. It seems to pass through us, through buildings, and through the entire planet as if we are not even here. Yet it has weight, it has gravity, and that gravity is quite literally what holds our universe together. Scientists discovered this puzzle when they were studying how galaxies spin. In our solar system, the planets closer to the Sun, like Mercury, move very fast, while the planets far away, like Neptune, move very slowly. Gravity gets weaker with distance. Scientists expected to see the same thing in galaxies. The stars near the bright massive center should move quickly, while the stars at the far outer edges should be moving much slower. But that is not what they found. When they measured the speeds, they were stunned. The stars at the very edge of the galaxy were moving just as fast as the stars near the center. This should be impossible. At those speeds, the outer stars should have been thrown off into deep space like a child flinging off a merry-go-round that is spinning too fast. The only way they could be moving so fast and not flying away is if there was a massive invisible halo of something surrounding the entire galaxy, holding it all together with its gravity. This something was dark matter. This is where your idea of an invisible weave or scaffolding is so perfect. Dark matter is the invisible thread that provides the structure for the cosmos. The stars, gas and dust that we can see are like the dewdrops clinging to this massive unseen web. The dewdrops are what we see, but the web is what gives them their shape. Without this dark matter, scaffolding galaxies as we know them would never have formed. The gravity from normal matter alone just isn't strong enough. We have other proof too. We can see its shadow. According to Einstein, massive objects bend the fabric of space and time, and light must follow that bend. This is called gravitational lensing. When we look at very distant galaxies, we often see their light is warped and magnified, as if we are looking at them through a massive invisible magnifying glass. When we calculate how much normal matter is there, It is not nearly enough to cause the bending we see. The lens is being created by a huge invisible clump of dark matter. It is a ghost that has weight. We still have no idea what it is made of. It could be a new kind of particle one that we have not discovered yet, something that is all around us, but we simply do not have the tools to touch it. If dark matter is the invisible framework holding things together, dark energy is the invisible something that is gently pushing everything apart. This is by far the biggest and most profound mystery. It makes up the remaining 68% of the universe. It is not matter. It seems to be a property of space itself. For decades, scientists debated the ultimate fate of the universe. The universe has been expanding ever since the Big Bang. But gravity, the pull of all the matter, both normal and dark, has been acting like a brake. Everyone assumed that this expansion must be slowing down. The only question was, would it slow down and stop, or would it eventually stop and then collapse back on itself in this big crunch? Then in the late 1990s, astronomers made a discovery that changed everything. They were using special exploding stars called supernovae as cosmic mile markers to measure the expansion rate of the universe. What they found was shocking. The expansion is not slowing down. It is speeding up. Something is fighting against gravity. Something is causing the very fabric of space to expand faster and faster. We have no idea what this is, so we gave it the placeholder name dark energy. This is not a violent push or a force like a rocket. Your metaphor of a gentle breath of space-time itself is exactly how physicists think about it. It is not a force in space, it is an energy of space. It seems that empty space, a perfect vacuum, is not truly nothing. It has its own built-in unchangeable tiny amount of energy. This energy causes it to gently stretch. But here is the strange part. As space stretches, it creates more space. And this new space has the same energy. So as the universe expands, it creates more space, which creates more dark energy, which makes it expand even faster. It is a runaway process. This leads to a very strange and perhaps lonely future. This gentle breath is slowly creating more and more space between all things. In the far distant future, this expansion will push all other galaxies so far away from us so fast that their light will no longer be able to reach us. The night sky will become truly empty except for the stars in our own local gravitationally bound group. The universe will become a vast, quiet and dark place. This is exactly what you described, the gentle breath of space-time is slowly creating more and more space for the silence. So this is the universe as we now understand it. A cosmos where everything we can see is just a 5% speck of dust. The other 95% is the dark sector, an invisible scaffolding holding us together, and a mysterious energy breathing us apart, leading us into a quiet, empty and infinite future. It is a profound lesson in humility. We are only just beginning to see the true nature of reality, travelling back through time. To understand where we come from, we must use our imagination to build the ultimate time machine. When we look up at the night sky, we are not just looking at space, we are looking into history. Light takes time to travel. When you look at the moon, you see it as it was 1 second ago. When you look at the sun, you see it as it was 8 minutes ago. And when you look at the distant stars, you are seeing them as they were hundreds or even thousands of years ago. So if we look deep enough past the planets, past the nearby stars and past the distant galaxies, can we see the very beginning? Can we see the moment the universe was born? Let us travel back. We are going back billions of years. We fly past the formation of the Earth, past the birth of the Sun, and even past the time when the first galaxies began to spin. We are moving toward a time called the Big Bang. However, as we get closer to this beginning, we hit a wall. We cannot see past a certain point. For a long time, scientists thought the beginning was just a giant explosion, like a bomb going off in a dark room. But this is a misunderstanding. It was not an explosion in space, it was an explosion of space. Every part of the universe was stretching out, moving away from every other part. The wall of fog at the first light. Imagine we have arrived at a time about 380,000 years after the universe began. Before this moment, the universe was very different from the dark, empty vacuum we see today. Back then it was not dark at all. It was blindingly bright, incredibly hot, and filled with a thick, glowing fog. In this early time, the universe was like a thick soup of particles. It was so hot that atoms could not form. Everything was crashing into everything else. Light tried to travel, but it could not go far. Imagine trying to run through a crowded room where thousands of people are shoulder to shoulder. You cannot move more than an inch before bumping into someone. That is what happened to light. It was trapped in this hot, dense fog. Because the light was trapped, the universe was opaque, you could not see through it. But then something miraculous happened. As the universe expanded, it began to cool down. It is similar to how hot gas cools down when you spray it out of a can. When the temperature dropped enough to about 3000 degrees Celsius, the chaos slowed down. The tiny particles were finally calm enough to pair up and form the very first atoms. This was the great clearing. Suddenly the crowded room became empty. The fog lifted. For the first time in history, light could travel freely without bumping into anything. In that instant, the entire universe flashed with a brilliant, blinding light. This was not a destructive fire. It was the first sunrise. It was the dawn of the cosmos, the warm echo of creation. So where is that light now? Did it disappear? No, that light is still here. It is the oldest thing in the universe. However, because the universe has been expanding for nearly 14 billion years, that light has stretched out. When you stretch a sound wave, the pitch gets lower. When you stretch a light wave, the color changes. That brilliant first light has stretched so much that our eyes can no longer see it. It has transformed from visible light into microwaves. We call this the cosmic microwave background. It is not a dramatic explosion that we watch from a distance. Instead, it is everywhere. It is a bath of low-energy radiation that fills every inch of space around us. If you could see microwaves, the entire night sky would not be dark. It would be glowing with a faint uniform brightness. This is the afterglow of the Big Bang. It is the dying heat of the birth of the universe cooled down to just a few degrees above absolute zero. There is a beautiful way to think about this in our daily lives. If you have ever seen an old television set with a bunny ear antenna, you remember the static, the snow on the screen when there was no channel selected. About 1% of that static dancing on the screen is actually the cosmic microwave background. The television is picking up the signal from the beginning of time. So in a very real way, we can watch the Big Bang. It is not a theory written in a book. It is a physical presence, a warm echo that is still humming around us, whispering the story of how everything began, forged in the hearts of stars. As we stand in the presence of this ancient light, we realize something profound about ourselves. We are not separate from this story, we are a direct result of it. After that first light was released, the universe went dark again for a long time. In that darkness, gravity began to pull clouds of gas together. These clouds grew tighter and hotter until Ignite the first stars were born. This is where the story becomes personal. In the beginning, the universe was simple. It was mostly just hydrogen and helium gas. But you cannot build a planet out of gas. You cannot build a rock, a tree, or a human being out of just hydrogen. We need carbon for our cells, iron for our blood, calcium for our bones, and oxygen to breathe. Where did these complex ingredients come from? They were cooked. Every star is a giant factory. Deep inside its core, a star crushes simple atoms together to make heavier ones. It turns hydrogen into helium, helium into carbon, and carbon into oxygen. For billions of years, the stars worked like cosmic blacksmiths, forging the heavier elements necessary for life. But these elements were trapped inside the stars. For us to exist, those stars had to die. When massive stars run out of fuel, they do not just fade away. They explode in a spectacular event called a supernova. This explosion is so powerful that it flings all those heavy elements, the carbon, the iron, the gold, out into the universe. These clouds of dust and gas drift through space for millions of years. Eventually, gravity pulls them together again to form new solar systems. 4.5 billion years ago, this happened here. A cloud of dust collapsed to form our sun and the Earth. The universe contemplating itself. This leads us to a stunning realization. The iron in the blood running through your veins right now was created in the center of a giant star that exploded billions of years ago. The calcium in your teeth came from another star. The carbon in your DNA came from yet another. We are not just living in the universe, we are made of the universe. We are what happens when a cloud of hydrogen gas hangs around for 14 billion years and begins to think. We are a collection of ancient stardust that has come together, stood up, and learned to tell stories. When we look up at the night sky, we are not looking at something alien or foreign. We are looking at our ancestors. We are looking at the furnace where we were forged. This is the greatest story science has ever told us. It connects us to the beginning of time, to the invisible background light, and to the fiery deaths of distant stars. We are the universe's way of knowing itself. We are the cosmos waking up and looking in the mirror, wondering where we came from. And in the faint glow of that ancient background radiation, we find our answer. We have been here in one form or another since the very beginning. To understand the true scale of our universe, we must cast our minds forward far beyond the lifespan of humanity, beyond the life of the Earth, and even beyond the life of the Sun. We are embarking on a mental journey into the deep future, looking ahead not just billions of years, but trillions and quadrillions of years. This is a timescale so vast that the entire history of the human race is less than a blink of an eye in comparison. As we look toward this distant horizon, we witness a slow and majestic transformation. The universe, currently vibrant with the chaos of burning stars and colliding galaxies, begins to settle down. It is entering its autumn and eventually its long, permanent winter. This is not a sudden ending, but a gradual fading, like a song slowly lowering its volume until it becomes a whisper. The fading of the last light. In this era of the far future, the night sky as we know it changes completely. Today, new stars are born from giant clouds of gas and dust. It is a cycle of recycling. Stars die, they blow gas back into space, and new stars form from the debris. But this cycle is not efficient. With every generation of stars, a little bit of matter is locked away forever, in dead remnants like white dwarfs, neutron stars, and black holes. Eventually, the universe simply runs out of fuel. The great gas clouds that act as stellar nurseries are exhausted. The era of star formation comes to an end. The universe will become populated mostly by red dwarfs. These are small, cool stars that burn their fuel very slowly. Because they are so efficient, they can live for trillions of years. But even they are not immortal. One by one, these last sentinels of light will run out of hydrogen. They will not explode in spectacular supernovas. Instead, they will quietly shrink and heat up briefly before cooling down forever. When the last red dwarf burns out, the universe will enter the degenerate era. The spectacular light show is over. The visible universe will go dark. If you were an observer standing on a lonely rock in this future, you would look up and see nothing but absolute blackness. The galaxies that once spiraled with billions of suns will consist only of stellar corpses, cooling cinders drifting in the void. These remnants, the white dwarfs, will slowly radiate their remaining heat away over immense stretches of time. As they lose their heat, they will fade from white to yellow to red, and finally they will become black dwarfs. These are cold, dark balls of compressed matter invisible to the eye, drifting through a silent galaxy. This process takes so long that the universe is currently not old enough for even a single black dwarf to exist yet. They are the ghosts of the future. The era of black holes. As the eons pass, even these dead stars may disappear. In this dark expanse, the dominant objects will be black holes. Without the light of stars, black holes will be the kings of the cosmos. They will silently sweep through the galaxies, consuming any stray matter that comes too close. However, even black holes are not eternal. According to quantum theory, they slowly leak energy over time. This process is known as Hawking radiation. It is incredibly slow. A black hole with the mass of our sun would take numberless years to evaporate. But time is the one thing the universe has plenty of. As the black holes evaporate, they release a faint glow of particles back into the void. In the very final moments of a black hole's life, it will flash brightly, one last time, and then vanish, leaving nothing behind but a few scattered particles. When the last supermassive black hole evaporates, the universe will be truly empty of large structures. The heat death, a return to equilibrium. This brings us to the concept often called the heat death of the universe. The name sounds frightening, like a fiery catastrophe, but the reality is the exact opposite. It is a big freeze. It is the story of heat moving from hot places to cold places until everything is the same temperature. Imagine a cup of hot coffee left on a table. Over time, the heat flows from the coffee into the air until the coffee is the same temperature as the room. Once that happens, nothing else changes. The flow of energy stops. The universe works the same way. Right now, we have hot stars and cold space, and energy flows from the stars to the empty space, and this flow of energy is what drives life, weather, and machines. It is what makes things happen. But in the distant future, once the stars are out and the black holes are gone, the energy will be spread out perfectly evenly across the cosmos. The temperature will drop to just a fraction above absolute zero. At this point, the universe reaches a state of maximum entropy. Entropy is a measure of disorder, or more accurately, a measure of how spread out energy is. When entropy reaches its maximum, no more energy can flow. No work can be done. No life can exist. No clocks can tick. Time, in a sense, ceases to have meaning because nothing changes to mark its passing. The great silence, a beautiful peace. It is easy for us as living beings who love warmth and activity to view this heat death as a tragedy. We fear the dark, we fear the cold, but if we shift our perspective, we can see a profound beauty in this ending. The universe began with the Big Bang, an event of unimaginable violence, energy, and expansion. For billions of years, the universe has been working hard. It has been churning gas, forging elements, building galaxies, and creating life. It has been a state of constant tension and activity. The heat. Death is not a failure. It is the universe finally finishing its work. It is a return to a state of perfect equilibrium. It is the ultimate rest. Think of the universe as a great ocean. Right now there are storms, waves, and crashing tides, but the heat, death, is the moment the winds die down, the waves settle, and the ocean becomes a perfect glassy mirror. It is calm, it is still. This long night is a state of serenity. The tension between matter and energy is resolved. The chaotic dance of atoms slows down to a halt. In this future there is no suffering, no destruction, and no conflict. There is only the great silence. The beauty of impermanence. Accepting this future helps us appreciate the now. We live in a very special temporary era. We exist in the brief Goldilocks period of the universe, a fleeting moment where conditions are just right for stars to shine and life to think. The fact that the universe will eventually fade into silence makes our current existence even more precious. We are the universe experiencing itself while it still has the energy to do so. We are the sparks dancing in the fire before it burns down to embers. Entropy is often misunderstood as purely destructive a force that breaks things down. But entropy is also the reason time moves forward. It is the reason we can distinguish yesterday from tomorrow. Without the flow toward disorder, there would be no life, because life relies on the flow of energy. Therefore, the final silence of the universe is simply the natural conclusion of the laws that allowed us to exist in the first place. It is the final balancing equation. It is a promise that the universe acts according to consistent, elegant rules. In the end, the great silence is not empty. It is full of the history of everything that ever happened. Every photon of light that ever travelled, every wave of gravity that ever rippled, eventually settles into this vast quiet background. The universe does not end with a bang, but with a peaceful, long exhale settling into an eternity of perfect, undisturbed sleep. It is a conclusion devoid of pain, a majestic fade into the dark where matter and energy finally find their ultimate resolution. We have travelled to the very end of time, witnessed the fading of the last stars, and stood before the quiet darkness of the distant future. But now it is time to go home. Imagine that we can reverse the direction of our journey. We are not moving through time, but rather pulling our perspective back, shifting our focus from the infinite void back to the vibrant living centre of existence. We begin to zoom out from the silence. We leave the era of black holes and cooling embers. As we pull back, the lights begin to turn on again. At first, they are just faint sparks in the velvet darkness, but as we retreat faster, the sparks multiply. We are returning to the era of starlight. From this vast distance, we see the largest structure in the universe, the cosmic web. It looks like a glowing spiderweb suspended in the dark. Huge filaments of light stretch across millions of light years, connecting knots of brightness. These are not just stars, they are entire clusters of galaxies holding hands across the emptiness. It looks surprisingly like the neural network of a human brain, a vast web of thinking light. We drift closer, focusing on one specific strand of this web. We are entering the Laniakea supercluster, which means immeasurable heaven. It is a river of galaxies flowing together through the dark. Inside this river, we find the Virgo supercluster, a massive collection of galaxy groups. We are getting closer, but the scale is still so huge that it's hard to comprehend. Now we see the local group. It is a dance of giants. We see that the Andromeda Galaxy, a magnificent spiral larger than our own, glowing with the light of 1 trillion stars. And there, locked in a gravitational dance with it, is our home, the Milky Way. Seen from the outside, our galaxy is breathtaking. It is a flat, spinning disk of light swirling with colours of blue, white and gold. It looks like a hurricane made of diamond dust. We dive into the disk, passing through clouds of gas and dust where new stars are being born. We travel past the chaotic, bright centre of the galaxy and move outward toward the quiet suburbs. We are looking for the Orion Arm, a smaller spiral structure on the edge of the galaxy. Among the hundreds of billions of stars here, we are looking for just one. It is not the biggest nor the brightest. It is a humble yellow dwarf star. As we approach it, we feel its warmth. It is our sun. It is the campfire around which our entire history has gathered. Circling this fire, we see the family of planets. We pass the gas giants Jupiter and Saturn standing like silent guardians. And then we see it. The third rock from the sun. It is a tiny blue marble floating in the vast, empty blackness. From out here, there are no borders. There are no wars, no politics, no noise. There is just a fragile ball of water and clouds protected by a thin line of blue atmosphere. It looks incredibly lonely yet incredibly inviting. We descend, we pass the moon, our silent watcher. We slip through the atmosphere, seeing the blue sky envelop us. We drift down through the white fluffy clouds. Below us we see the shapes of continents and oceans. We zoom in further, finding a specific country, a specific city, a specific neighborhood. We float down towards a specific building. We pass through the roof, through the ceiling, and enter a quiet room. We slow down completely now. The journey of billions of light years comes to a halt. We are back in the room. Look at the bed or the chair where you are resting. See the figure lying there? That is you. Gently, softly slip back into your own body. Feel the weight of your limbs pressing against the mattress. Feel the texture of the fabric against your skin. Feel the temperature of the air in the room. Take a deep breath. Feel the cool air entering your nose, filling your lungs, and the warm air leaving your body. Listen to the rhythm of your heartbeat. Thump, 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 thump. That is the drumbeat of your life, a rhythm that has continued without stopping since before you were born. Now take a moment to truly understand what has just happened. We have explored the terrifying vastness of the universe from the Big Bang to the end of time. We have seen that the universe is mostly empty space, freezing cold darkness and violent explosions. And yet here you are, in all that endless space and all that infinite time you exist right now. Think about the statistical impossibility of you. For you to be here, billions of generations of stars had to live and die to create the carbon, oxygen, and iron in your blood. Millions of generations of ancestors had to survive, meet, and reproduce, forming an unbroken chain of life leading directly to you. You are not separate from the universe you just visualized. You are the universe. You are the universe becoming aware of itself. Your eyes are the way the universe sees its own beauty. Your mind is the way the universe understands its own complexity. The fact that you are lying here, breathing, thinking, and feeling is a miracle far greater than any supernova. A star is huge, but it cannot think. A black hole is powerful, but it cannot love. A galaxy is ancient, but it cannot feel the comfort of a soft blanket or the peace of a quiet moment. You can. So as you lay here, do not feel small. Do not feel insignificant against the size of the cosmos. You are the rarest, most precious thing in it. You are conscious matter. Let go of the worries of tomorrow. Let go of the regrets of yesterday. They are just ghosts. All that truly exists is this moment, this breath, this heartbeat, this sensation of being alive. Rest in this awareness. You are safe. You are home. You are exactly where you are meant to be, held gently by gravity on this beautiful blue island in the stars. Sleep now knowing that you are a child of the universe and you are loved by existence itself. Welcome home, traveler. You've been on a very long journey tonight. In your mind, you have travelled faster than the speed of light. You have flown past the moon and looked down at our blue Earth. You drifted through the rings of giant planets and danced with swirling galaxies. You went all the way to the very edge of the universe where everything stops, and you looked into the deep, quiet void. And now you have returned. You have come back from the infinite spaces, back through the stars, back through the sky, and back into this room. Feel yourself landing gently. You are back in your body. You are here in your bed right now. You are completely safe. Take a moment to feel how good it is to be still. After moving through the vastness of space, your body feels heavy and relaxed. The bed is soft beneath you. The blanket is warm around you. Gravity is holding you down like a gentle hug from the earth itself. It is telling you that you do not need to hold on anymore. You do not need to fly anymore. You can just rest. Think about what you saw. The universe is so big, so wide, and so mysterious. Sometimes that bigness can feel scary, but remember this, you're not separate from that universe. You're not a stranger visiting space, you're a piece of it. The atoms in your body were created inside distant stars billions of years ago. The iron in your blood and the calcium in your bones are made of stardust. You are the universe experiencing itself. You carry the stars inside you. This means you are never truly alone. Even in the quiet dark of your room, you're connected to everything that exists. You belong here, so you fit perfectly in this moment just as you are. Now it is time to let everything go. Let the images of the stars fade into a soft darkness. Let the thoughts of the day float away like dust in the sunlight. There is nothing left for you to do. There are no more questions to answer. There is only this peaceful avoidance. Imagine that the night sky is wrapping around you like a velvet blanket. It is a blanket of safety and peace. The stars are like calm nightlights watching over you from far away. The silence of space is now a lullaby singing you to sleep. Your eyes are heavy. Your breath is slow and deep. You are safe in the arms of the universe. You are protected. You are loved. Sink deeper into the warmth, deeper into the quiet. Let yourself drift away into the world of dreams. Good night.